We are now just 25 days away from Star Wars Celebration, which is going to be the time and day of the release of the Star Wars Episode 9 teaser trailer. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that we do know about this film is that J.J. Abrams is using Episode 9 as a way to introduce a total of 8 new characters in this story that's going to be used in order to move the characters of Kylo Ren and Rey and a whole lot of other characters as well forward in the plot of this movie. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art, and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with Kylo Ren and Rey, as well as the new villain in this movie. Specifically, a description of Kylo Ren and Rey in a standoff with the new villain, dubbed as Vector Ritsu. It's described that all three of them are in a large hangar bay, with Rey wielding an ignited blue lightsaber while Kylo wields his crossguard. The next goes over the Vector character giving a lecture to both Kylo and Rey about the Beyond. It's described that he is informing Kylo and Rey about the origins of the dark side, and that there is said to have saga-wide implications and change the way fans look at the Force in general. It's said that the Beyond has allowed Vector to witness at one point that Darksiders were not considered evil until the Sith organization was formed that eventually created tension between themselves and the Jedi. It's described to be a moment between both Kylo and Vector, in which in between their battle, Vector delivers a lesson of the history of the dark side of the Force. So I really do want to go over this because we do know that J.J. Abrams is trying very hard in order to implement a lot of big revelations in this movie that is going to have a huge effect on the Skywalker saga and how fans view the Star Wars franchise entirely. So, first things first, I want to go over this location. We've heard about this hangar bay for quite a long time now. This is most likely going to be the First Order headquarters. We're not quite for certain here, but most likely it is because we do know that one of the major lightsaber duels does in fact take place between both Kylo Ren, Rey, as well as the new villain being a part of that sequence. Now, the next thing that I do want to go over is how this character, Vector Ritsu, dubbed as Vector Ritsu, is giving Kylo Ren a lesson about the origins of the dark side that are said to have saga-wide implications, even revealing to Kylo Ren that at one point in time, Darksiders were not considered to be evil until the Sith organization was developed, which eventually created tension with themselves and the Jedi. So this is said to be a whole entire lesson about the dark side in between the battle between both Kylo Ren and this new villain in Episode 9, and it sounds something similar in a sense to what you would usually get in an actual lightsaber duel or just a regular battle in general. Usually, you always have that stop moment where they exchange dialogue, they exchange a little story. We've seen great examples of this in Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back. All these different lightsaber duels have little pauses in between where they exchange dialogue. And that's exactly what we will be getting in this movie between this Vector character, quote-unquote, and Kylo Ren, as Rey is in the background. Now, like I say, this seems to be a very interesting moment in the Star Wars franchise because we do know that J.J. Abrams is going to be diving into the concept of the Force and will be exploring new elements of all of that that's going to change our view on the Star Wars franchise overall. And I think that's a big risk by Disney and Lucasfilm, JJ and crew, for a couple of reasons. I'll go over one of the reasons is that this is a franchise that many people have grown up with, ever since the 1970s, leading all the way into the 80s, especially with the originals and even the prequels. So I feel like that if they're going to explain, origins of the dark side of the Force, that's going to have saga-wide implications, as well as this little element that's actually told by the character of Vector Ritsu to Kylo Ren, that Darksiders were never considered to be evil, quote-unquote, until the Sith organization was developed. So the Beyond is associated with this character. The Beyond allowed this character to pretty much gain knowledge about the origins of the dark side of the Force. And that's when you can really tell that J.J. Abrams is trying to bring fans into a totally unique story that's going to be rather bold and unique. And like I say, that can very well be a risk. We've seen what happened with The Last Jedi, whether you love it or hate it. A lot of bold decisions were made in that movie, a lot of big risks were made in the film that really didn't sit well with too many fans out there. So, when we look at episode 9, we do know that Disney and Lucasfilm are using this as a course correction. This movie is a big deal, and in order for them to really get this right, it has to be executed perfectly, and the dialogue has to be on point. So with that being said, I gotta say I'm really looking forward to seeing this new villain, this new threat, if you will, in general, that's going to intervene into the battle between both the First Order and the Resistance, and exactly how that's going to really unravel in the story of Episode 9. So let me know what you guys have to say about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.